Consciousness is a state of being when an individual is awakened to their place, historically, culturally, socio-politically, and spiritually in the diaspora.
First off, when we're talking about a journey to consciousness, that should be, from my perspective, a never-ending journey. It really depends on where you pick up on consciousness. Because some of us, like, I'm 48 right now, but we got 48-year-olds who you and I both know have zero consciousness whatsoever. They just as bad as some of these babies. And when I say babies, are teenagers that's out here. So in that journey of consciousness, man, I believe that seeds of it were planted in my younger years. I believe maybe mid-20s. Mid-20s into my early 30s. Beginning that process. And I think one of the biggest, matter of fact, I'm not going to say I think the biggest, the most impactful lead or guide I've had into my consciousness is beginning to follow the teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In that, as a religious spiritual leader, he was the first leader that I ran into that actually challenged me to challenge him, or challenge the information or knowledge or wisdom that he was offering. And in his words, he said, I want you all to take what I'm saying, go back and research it for yourself so that you know that what I'm saying is true. And I had never really experienced that. Like, all of my Christian pastors upbringing, just depend on the Lord and pray about it. Like, no, I need some understanding with this thing, and I need this thing to be relevant in my life right now. I'm not trying to read the Bible from the perspective of, I just want to know what happened with Paul or Peter or any of the disciples of old. I'm reading this book for spiritual guidance and how I can apply these things to myself right here, right now, as I live, walk, and breathe and interact with others. So that journey to consciousness, like I said, the spark, really, the kindling, was that statement from Minister Farrakhan. From there, and not to say even right now, my level of consciousness is where I feel it should be, because there are so many things I'm even learning now as a quote-unquote conscious, more engaged individual. Like, some of the things I'm finding, how I thought stories went, how information has been presented, doing additional research, which is why when I started off, that should be this journey into consciousness should be a lifelong one. We find many new pieces of information. We should be seeking that new information if, in fact, consciousness is a thing that we're trying to live and not just have it as a title. I'm conscious. No, when you really trying to incorporate that thing into your life, you got to continue to seek information, valid information, not just any information, seeking valid information and seeing how that information is applicable to you. So, Minister Farrakhan being one, Dr. Ben Shakhana, Dr. Yusuf, a lot of the quote-unquote unknown scholars, the ISIS papers, they came before Columbus, Dr. Haley's books on Malcolm, James Baldwin. Me simply getting into some of these writers' mindsets and seeing from a black person's perspective, not having your traditional college-educated professors and scholars and archaeologists, but having some of our people presenting this. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, absolutely great archaeologist and philosopher in that regard, bringing a lot of information that we simply would not have known had we not had these knowledgeable warriors going to bat and doing some of this more in-depth research to bring out the truth of what's presented in a whole different way for us. I know that was a long answer, but that is what it is, man. We have to be a lot more intentional with, is the information, is my level of consciousness about the realities. Case in point, here a couple of days ago, on the news with this whole Iraqi war, and they bring up all information. Iran has the ability to fire missiles that can reach as far inland as California. Yeah, that's true, but that's not relevant right now. The last FBI, what was it? Anyway, wasn't even Patel. I know Patel is a current FBI. The previous FBI director was the one that came before Congress. This was last year. So why are you talking about it today? Because people aren't conscious and they don't keep up with information, and then today they come out, oh yeah, we sorry, ABC News, yeah, we kind of said some stuff about that and it wasn't actually accurate, we sorry. But the people that has already listened to it, ingested that information, they taking it as law because ABC News said it, CNN said it, MSNBC said it. What research did you do yourself to find that to be true? That's where I believe consciousness for us. Consciousness should cause you to act in a manner with regards of what reality is and not the picture that's being painted for you. And we often just go along to get along and, oh, my cousin said, my auntie said, my uncle. What do you know? What have you researched? What have you found to be true? And that's not to discredit any of these individuals, because like in our community, I don't think people purposefully try to disseminate misinformation, but they do. And it's because of that fact you don't know for yourself. Receive the information, do some research. Stop depending on chat. With me, as an IT person. Oh, I asked ChatGPT. Who trained ChatGPT? Was it people that look like you and me? So, if it's not people that look like you and me, and given the track record of, I don't know, education in this country as a whole, where they didn't even want us to have education, number one. Number two, when they begin to allow us to get the education they wanted us to have, they chopped up the truth of pick whatever matter. So how do you equate AI any differently? For me and for us in particular, it's the same scenario. If you're not a conscious individual, if you don't know how the system works, if you don't know how it arrives at the decisions that it arrives at, and the people that is training these systems, they are not like you and me. They're not going to train that system in a truthful manner, so the results that you get out of it is going to be slanted towards somebody else's perspective, not yours and mine. Until we begin to be more conscious about, okay, this thing isn't going anywhere. Maybe we should change our perspective. Oh, I don't trust that. Maybe we need to try to get in the room.
I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I wanna be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens.
So that we are a part of the process of training these things so that we can get better results out of these things, and we know what some of the results that will come out of these things are, because we're engaged in it, and not just, oh, I don't want anything to do with that. Well, you're going to continue to get what you get. Kind of like with being conscious with 47. The present.